Hello, guys. Welcome back. Thank you so much to Pravi and Andrew for that awesome Vancouver vlog video. That was cool. We got to see a little bit about where we live and the surrounding areas. And Stanley Park, we got ice cream. We got a lot of cool places. Also, bubble tea, there's some great spots in Vancouver. And if you love bubble tea, you'll love those spots, so that's great. Right now we're gonna do a student panel with a bunch of current students, and so I just wanted to ask you guys what your names are, what program you're in, and what year you're in as well. So we'll start over here.
I'm Spencer. I'm in the pastoral leadership program in my third year.
Nice.
That's it, right? Just the three?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I'm Olivia. I'm in biblical studies, and it's my first year.
Nice.
I'm Harrison. I'm in the pastoral leadership program as well, and I'm in my fourth year.
My name's Hannah. I'm in the church ministries program, and I'm finishing up my fourth and final year.
Nice. That's awesome. You guys are all in different programs. This is going to go well. I'm excited. So let's go to the first question, and then you guys can answer whatever you want, and then we'll go to the other ones as well. So the first one would be, looking back, what would you have wanted to know going into Bible college for the first semester? Like starting. I know some of you are fourth year, you have to think back 4 years ago. An oldie, but that's okay. You just think back a little bit, and yeah.
I can go for this one.
Nice, do it.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing that was really a lesson that I had to learn was that when I'm coming to Bible college, I still have to make time for my relationship with God. And I think coming to Bible college, especially in your first year, it's a whole new experience. So much new things are happening. You're meeting new people, and there's all your time can just get taken right away. And so having the discipline to spend that time with God is something that you need to make a key priority coming to Bible college.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I would say don't confine yourself to a box. It's good to have goals when you start here and have a projection of where you want your life to go, but also be open to God changing that within a semester or within 4 years. I know for myself, I started in Life Launch with the idea that I was only going to be here for 1 year, and 4 years later, 3 programs later, I'm still here and graduating. So have goals, but also hold it with an open hand.
That's awesome. So good. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can totally pop them in the chat. We'll answer some of those here. Let's go from one there. Eliza says, how do you separate your studies from your time with God? That's a bit of a tricky one. It's kind of hard because that's all we do here. We just study the Bible and about the Lord. So how do you guys separate your studies with your personal time with the Lord?
I can do this one. I would say, especially for the first semester, it was a little bit tough to do that. Just because you're studying the Bible, you're at Bible college, and usually when you're just studying the Bible, you can, that's your time with God. But I found that it's really helpful to have silent time and to genuinely just be in His presence and to do Bible studies just by yourself and take your time and really just spend that time to develop that relationship. Even though we're studying, we're still able to have that relationship with Him.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I was just going to say, I think studying on your own, like Bible study, like devotional, not like school study. It's good to study with friends. But when you're studying the Bible devotionally, like on your own, spending time with God, I think doing it in a way that's completely different than what you're doing in school, unless, of course, the Lord is leading you that way as well, then, okay, go that way. But I think don't just make your studying like I've spent time with God. Like, be intentional at making no, this is my time with God, and it's separate from my studying. Because then...
So be aware of that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So the next one would be, what has been the most impactful class you've taken so far, and why?
For me, I would say spiritual formation. When you come to Bible college, you take classes on different books of the Bible and things like that, but spirit formation focuses a lot on you and maybe things that you need to learn about yourself, and you, through the books you read and the assignments you do, it's a lot of self-discovery, and I think regardless if you go into a pastoral role when you're done here, it's really good to have a level of self-awareness.
That's awesome. Nice. go in the chat, and this is specifically for Harrison. Harrison, who are your 2 favorite girls?
My 2 favorite girls. Oh, that's a very easy one. First would be my beautiful wife, Zion, who we met here at PLBC. And second would be our daughter, Zamira, who is 1 month old. So
cute.
that's an easy one to answer.
So awesome. I love it. We'll do another one from the chat. Jenny Fletcher says, what's a piece of advice for people starting Bible college?
I can answer this one.
Nice.
Humble yourself. Don't come into it thinking you know everything. I came into it, I did YWAM before coming here, and I was like, oh, I know so much about the Bible, I know so much about Jesus. And I came here, and I've been like knocked down multiple times in my pride. So come in humbly and know that there's lots for you to learn.
That's so good. What about you, 4th years?
Piece of advice for starting a Bible college. Yeah, I think a good thing to do when you're coming here is just be open to what God is going to do in your life. I think that for me especially, I came here with like a really solid plan. I was going to go 4 years straight, and I was going to be done, and then I was going to go into ministry, and that's changed. It's taking me longer than 4 years, and that's okay. And so just be open to what God is doing in your life, and just accept His will.
That's awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, so the next one would be, are any of the classes really challenging? Or how have you guys been finding them so far?
I can hop on this one. My answer is yes. There are challenging classes at Bible college, and that's a good thing, because being a Christian in our world today is a challenging thing.
Yeah, totally.
And so coming here and learning about the Bible, but more than that, learning about what this means in my life as a Christian and how I live this out in our world today is a challenging thing to do. And so PLBC pushes you to think through these things. It makes you think about how you're living, about what you're saying, about the way you're living your life. And that's really, really important for believers today. So it's challenging in a good way.
Yeah. Thanks, Harrison. Anyone else? Any challenging classes that like have stumped you and you're like, I just don't get it? Nope.
I can say something. I would say it's challenging in the way that I'm able to think of different perspectives, New Testament survey, just because we're addressing a tiny bit of apologetics, which is really awesome, and I really like that. But it is tough sometimes just to think outside the box and to
totally.
try and understand the New Testament in a different way than you may have been brought up to understand it or how you've interpreted it. And I think that a lot of our interpretations can be a little off sometimes.
Yeah.
And learning about the New Testament in that way can help you to have a well-rounded perspective, as well as to learn the context of the New Testament in that way.
So good. New Testament survey. Take it. Woo, Jen Wright. Another question. This is kind of like not a weird, but just a phrase that kind of goes on around Bible college here quite often. Do you guys know what the term ring by spring means at all?
I have
Anyone?
I have no clue what that means.
Okay, well. Anyone else? Do you guys have any idea?
May have heard of this one before.
Just slightly, hey?
Ring by spring is where you propose to someone before the spring semester of school.
So like you meet them in the fall, you date in the fall, you get engaged by the spring. It's like all within like
exactly
4 or 5
Olivia.
months. Is it common, Harrison?
I think people here want it to be more common than it is, so yeah.
It took a little bit longer for you, hey? Like a year. That's still good. Yeah, solid. Paulo says, how do you balance your relationships with your significant other, with both of your studies as well as your relationship with God? Has it been hard to do all of those in one, or all of those?
Yes. I mean, and it's not a yes or no question, but yours was. So, yeah, it can be tricky. I know for me, like I like to take on a lot, and I think I can do a lot more than I actually can do. So, how do you balance relationship? You kind of learn to. You have to. It's not something you, at least for me. I'm not naturally born with the knowledge of how to balance these kind of things, but you have to work it around. So maybe you'll spend a lot of time with your significant other and you realize, oh man, my relationship with God is tanking. But that's when you need to have conversations with God and with the other people and and then maybe professors as well, and say, hey, like, this isn't working. I need to help. So that's why we have like advisors and teachers here who are here to help with us. So you can chat with them if things aren't going well for you and you need help and to figure out how your schedule's looking. Like, there's people here. There's people you can reach out to. So yeah,
that's awesome. Who do you guys think should go to Bible college? Like, who would it be a great fit for?
I think anyone is a great fit. Like, I know for myself, I decided to come here when I was finishing up my last year of high school, and I had no idea what I was doing with my life. My plan was to work at Winners for the rest of my life and get married like a year later. My parents were like, can you set like a little bit of more realistic expectations for your life? And then my youth pastor, he's actually an alumni from here, he was like, hey, if you just feel like really confused and you don't know what you want to go into right away, like, you should go to PLBC, just take their 1-year life launch program and figure it out from there a year later. So I think regardless of where you're at, like, PLBC is always a great option.
That's awesome. So good. So as some of us may know, we are in somewhat of a pandemic in the world. And I'm curious, somewhat, I mean, maybe parts of the world, yeah. So how has COVID-19 affected your college experience since it literally happened like a year ago, which is insane? Yeah.
I can answer this one. Especially being on dorms, it's just been a little bit different than what I thought it would be, I guess. Because we're just, we're not able to like go into each other's dorms and stuff and like do all the stuff that you would normally do. But still, we're finding ways to work around that, and we're still able to build community in different ways, which is really, really, really nice. And it's still beautiful being in this community. And even though it's not what I expected it to be, it's still, these relationships have developed so authentically, and it's just fantastic that it's in the middle of a pandemic that people are feeling lonely and they're feeling discouraged, but in this time we're still able to find people to fellowship with and to build relationship with.
So good.
Yeah, I think when COVID started last year, we all were like, oh, it'll go away in a couple of months, and I remember thinking for the grads that missed a ceremony last year, like, oh, I feel bad for them, but that's not going to be me. But I think we've had to work extra hard at really like building our community this year, especially for like incoming students, where PLBC might not look the way that it has for second years and third years and fourth years, but like our student leadership teams have done an incredible job of continuing to foster that community, and I think we all are just very grateful for the ways that it's come about.
So good. Harrison, this is more for you because you're a fourth year student. So I was wondering, how has your relationship with God changed since the first year to your fourth year now?
Yeah, my relationship with God. I think that coming to PLBC, I had a strong relationship with God, but let's say maybe I knew like this much about God. And so much of my time with God would be spent trying to deepen this limited amount of knowledge that I had about him. And I think deepening your relationship with God in that way is a really good thing. But being here for 4 years, I think that it has expanded my understanding of God. I have a bigger knowledge of him, and now I can take all of these things that I know, and then I can go deeper with them. So it's just expanded my relationship, my understanding, my awe, my fear of God in all the best ways. And now I can take this and I can go deeper with it.
So good. That's awesome. What about you, Liv? Because this is a different question. But from the chat, is it extra hard to start Bible college with only having a few years of Christian experience, I guess, in your life? Because you're a first year, so I'm just curious.
And then also, I've only had a few years of Christianity, so it's actually perfect.
So well, yeah.
I would say so in a way, just because I feel like a lot of people already have that background of the biblical stories that you learn in kids' church or in youth or all that kind of stuff. I don't have that, and I mostly just have the sermons that I've watched on YouTube, and I have the Bible and how I learned to interpret it without like my family being religious or anything. So it's been challenging in that way, but it's just been a beautiful journey because it's not like I'm being judged for that. Like it's, even though I don't have that basic knowledge, I'm still able to bring a different perspective to verses, and I'm still able to learn from other people and to be accepted for where I'm at. And I think that is just a beautiful thing. And I think that a lot of what PLBC is just acceptance and love, and no matter where you're at, like it doesn't even matter. Like, you're just gonna be loved and you're gonna be cherished for where you're at and where you started.
Yeah.
But just to be encouraged to continue and to continue to learn and grow in that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So good. So now that we've talked a little bit about school and all the different classes, as a first-year student who could be interested in coming here, would you guys say that figuring out finances could be a little bit difficult, or how has that been for you guys here attending?
I'd say it also depends on your financial ability. If you're not good with finances, it's going to be tricky. If you're great with finances, it'll be a lot easier. But there's also a lot of people here on staff who work in the financial department who are great at helping with that, and they want to have that conversation with students and be able to help you. Like, if you can't pay, like there's student loans and people can help with that, and they want to be a part of that. So so if you're not good with finances, go talk to Rhonda in the office, and she'll help you with that. So
Yeah, so good.
I would say financially, like, I love to be stable, and I feel like a lot of people like to be stable in that. There's just a sense of comfort and control, which is something that we need to humble ourselves for.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I find that coming here, it's definitely been a humbling journey where I've just asked God to help, and I've asked Him to provide, and He has so many times, and it's been a beautiful lesson, a life lesson, where I know that I can't do it by myself, and I'm able to just lean on my Father for that, and I'm able to lean on Him and ask Him for help, and He always helps, and He always encourages me. And I think that in that too, like, finances can be very stressful, but with God, like, He will always help with whatever we need help with.
So good. It's awesome. Thank you, guys. Okay, we'll just do one last question, and then we'll wrap it up. So in your many years here, or some of you first, or second, third, whatever, how have you guys experienced a community, and what has that been like for you?
I think for me, I moved here from Ontario, so I did not know anyone. I'd met a few students from tour team that summer, and I was definitely like really nervous starting at a new place where I don't know anyone, but I can confidently say like everyone was so welcoming. They didn't know who I was, but it was amazing, and a lot of those people are my lifelong friends, and I'm very thankful for the opportunities I've had to, be in their life and have them speak into mine. So yeah.
That's awesome. Anyone else?
yeah, I'd say similarly to Hannah, like, there's a lot of people here that I've met and I've been able to build like some really deep relationships with, and some of whom have become roommates, and so you get to live with them, and not just like on dorms, but like in like real life. But these are people that you get to walk through life with, who are also following Christ and wanting to love Him better. So the community here is very Christ focused in that way, but different perspectives on God. So we all have grown up with different understanding, and so we all get to come and then have conversations about it, which is really cool, different perspectives. So yeah, the community is great for being able to learn, but also just have fun.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. And that's the student panel. We loved it. Thank you for answering all the questions. We appreciate it. And we hope you guys were able to learn some things as well. And yeah, if you love to apply, you can just head on over to pacificlife.edu. And today we're just canceling out the application fee. So you can totally apply. It's super fast and easy. And we'd love to get in contact with you. So now we have a little story for us as well here. It's Vanessa, who is an alumni student, and she was doing the counseling program. So she's going to tell you a little bit about that, and here it is.